Almost. It's going live now. It's too awesome.
My prediction.
No, yeah, that's
the water.
Keep that up. Banya Hawada Banya Shala.
Banya Hawada Banya Shala.
Yahweh Shem Shabrakatham.
Yahweh Shem Shabrakatham.
La Yashala. So yeah, imagine one be out Kodam, which is rather face the east. Say in Hebrew. Say the prayers.
Lord's prayers first. Do you think?
So I
Get us one part.
Repeat after me. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. I.S.U.P.K. Yahweh.
Malakavka.
Taba'ah.
Ratazayaka. I.S.U.P.K. Barataza. Kowat.
I.S.U.P.K.
Bashemayim.
Thundernaw.
Lakam.
Cow.
Yawam. Wasalakinaw. Kabawafinaw. Kasalakinaw. Kabawafinaw. Wala'ah. Labiayinaw. One. Abo. Hawashayinaw. Mayan. Rai. Kaya. Lakah.
Hamalakwa.
Wa'ala. Wahapara. Aman.
And in the English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. In the Hebrew, we're going to do the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh. Ba'ashem. Yahushua. Ba'ukashah. Thundernaw. Hakak. Larapa'ah. Kamaka'ah. Wakamarawa. Hakak. Latahah. Hamatazarayim. Hakak. Lahakim. Hamathim. Hakak. Awakawa. Watama'ala. Lagarashun. Ba'ashem. Yahushua. The water amun. And in the English. Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua. Please give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the leper. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it.
We're going to do the Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah. Ayanya. Ahahorim. Mahayan. Yaba'ah. Isariah. Ma'an. Yahweh. Aisha. Shamayim. Wa'arabdazar. Al-Yathan. Lamawat. Wagalka. Al-Yanawam. Shamarka. Hana. La'a. Yanawam. Wala'a. Yayasun. Shawamal. Yasha'ala. Yahawa. Shamarka. Yahawa. Tazalka. Al-Ya. Yamyanka. Yawamam. Hashamash. La'a. Yakaka. Wayarak. Balayala. Yahawa. Yashamarka. Makara. Yashamal. Afna Pashka. Yahawa. Yashamal. Taza'athka. Wabawa'athka. Ma'atha. Wa'ada Wulam.
In English, I will lift my eyes into the hills.
I will lift my eyes into the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help coming from Yahweh.
My help coming from Yahweh,
Which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be
He
moved.
that keepeth thee
He that keepeth thee
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel.
he that keepeth Israel
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day.
The sun shall smite thee by day,
Nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
And thy coming in.
and thy coming in
From this time forth.
from this time forth
Even forevermore.
and even forevermore.
So be it.
So be it.
Psalm 53 in the Hebrew. Alahayim. Al-Dayalaka.
Al-Dayalaka.
Al-Dakarash.
Al-Dakarash.
Al-Dashakwat.
Wa'al-Dashakwat.
Al-Kayab.
Kayahana.
Abu-Wabika.
Abu-Wabika.
Yahanna Yawan.
Yahanna Yawan.
Wama Shanayaka.
Wama Yashanayaka.
Nasha'awa. Arash. Imaka.
Al-Imaka.
Ya'ariyawam.
Ya'ariyawam.
So why? Why you think I tazawa? Altazap for one yaka. Armawa. So like it. Lakawa. Wanna cock you them. Magaria. Wala'a. Yazakar. Shem Yasharala. Iwad. Kaya. Naya what tazawa? So like it. Naya what tazawa? La. Yakadwa. Al-Yaka. Baryath. Yakarathwa. Al-Yawa. Adawam. Washing my eye yum. Sorry. Let me say it again. Washing my why Shemai la yum. Mala Abba. Wahagorium. Gabal. Wa Imawan. Waimalak. Kalashaf. I'm Yashabia. Tazawar. Gam Ashawar. Nalawa. Imam. Hayawa. Zarawai. Labanya Lawat. Salah. Ashalaham. Kamadian. Kasayasara'a. Kayabian. Banakal. Wa'ashwan. Nashamadwa. Ba'ayan. Dara'a. Hawa'a. Daman. Aladama. Shayathamwa. Nada Yamwa.
Ka'arab.
Wakazaba.
Kazabak.
Wakazamani.
Kyle.
Nasaya Kamwa.
Ashar.
Armawa. Naya Yarash. Nalawa. Lanawa.
Af.
Na'awaf. Alahayim.
Alahaya.
Sayathamwa.
Kagagala.
Kakwash. Lapanya Raka. Ka'arash. The Ba'ira Ya'ira. Waka Lahaba. Talahat. Harium. Khan. Taradama. Baisara. Basaira Raka. Wabasabapafka. Tabahalam. Mala'a. Panyaham. Kwalawan. Waya Bakwashwa. Shemka. Yahweh. Yabashwa. Waya Bahawa. Aya. Waya Kaparwa. Waya Abadwa. Waya Da'aiwa. Kaya. Asa. Shemka. Yahweh. Labaka. Ayawan. Al-Kal. Ha'arakaza. Aman.
Select. That was Psalms 83.
God.
Psalms 83 in the English. Select. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace. And be not still. O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they are consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarim, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur is also joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kasam, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb, and like Ze'ed. Yea, all their princes, as Zabah, and as Almuna, who say, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. O Yahweh, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth it wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High over all the earth. Amen. So be it.
Sorry for the turn.
Starting at first.
So like you want to read it, you will read it.
Nah, the brother in the middle is going to do that.
Okay. First.
You get
1 Samuel chapter 28. Where you want to start?
Everybody start on to what? No, give him that. Oh, do you want to do it? It's up to you.
Oh, that's good. You don't want to speak up.
Yeah.
Verse in the Hebrew, 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 1. YAHANNA, 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 Parashatayim, Atha, Makanaham, Latazaba'a, Lahalakam, Bayara Allah, Waya Anamar, Akayash, Al, Dawada, Yadai, Dawadai, Kaya, Athaya, Taza'a, Bamanakat Na'a, Ata'a, Wanata Shaka, verse 2. Waya Amar, Dawada, Al, Akayash, Lakan, Atha, Da'dai, Ashar, Yasha'aha, Abadak, Waya Kamar, Akayash, Al, Dawada, Lakan, Shamar, La Rasha'ala, La Ayas Laki, Hashanamak, Kala, Hayamakyam, verse 3. Washam Mawala'a, Wala, Slaki, Matha, Wayasap, Dawa, Lawa, Cow, Yasha'ala, Wayakaba, Howard, Barama'a, Cow, Yasha'ala, Waba'ai Roa, Washa'a Wala, Hashayar, Ha'abawath, Wa'ath, Hayada'aino Yum, Ma'avrataza, verse 4. Waya Akwaba Tazawa, Palashatiyum, Waya Ba'awa, verse 4. Waya Kaba Tazawa, Palashatiyum, Wa'abawa, Wa'ayakanawa, Bashanayim, Waya Kabataza, Sha'awal, Atha, Cow, Yasha'ala, Waya Kanawa, Ba'ai, verse 5. Waya Ra'ah, Sha'awal, Atha, Maka'ana'a, Parasham, Wara'ah, Wayakara, Labawa, Ma'adah, verse 6. Wayasha'ala, Shamawal, Bamyakawaha, Wala'ah, Anahawa, Yahweh, Gam, Bakalamawa, Gam, Ba'arayam, Gam, Banabayanyam, verse 7. Wa'amar, Sha'awal, Ba'abalayawa, Ba'kwashua, Laya, Ashah, Bala'ithia, Awaba, Wa'alaka, Alayanja, Wa'adaira, Sha'ah, Ba'a, Wahamawa, Ibayamwa, Alayawa, Haliyah Ashaf Ba'isla the Awaba Yana Dawar.
That's it. That's it on that.
1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 1. And it came to pass in those days that Philistines gathered their armies together for warfare to fight with Israel. And Achish said unto David, know that certainly that thou shalt go out with me to battle, thou and thy men. And David said to Achish, surely thou shalt know what thy servants can do. And Achish said to David, therefore will I make thee keeper of my head forever. Now Samuel was dead, and all Israel had limited him and buried him in Ramah, even in his own city. And Saul had put away those that had familiar spirits and the wizards out of the land. And the Philistines gathered themselves together.
Yeah, it's like in verse 3. So when Saul getting out people out of the land, familiar spirits is like what you call people that try to do fortune tellers, people that try to read those tarot cards, your Miss Cleos, and it's a lot of people, white people, and people along that read tarot cards and tell you, about your future and about your life. Right. That is of Satan. You know what I'm saying? It's lies. They do nothing but conjure up demons. It's an example of it when one of the brothers wanted to speak to the dead and thought it was dead, but it was a demon. So that's what a witch and a wizard is, and also a witch and a wizard is also a drug dealer also. Go ahead, continue.
Chapter 28, verse 4. And the Philistines gathered themselves together, and they came and pitched in Shunem, and Saul gathered all Israel together, and they pitched to Gabawah. And when Saul saw the host of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart greatly trembled. And when Saul inquired of the Lord answered him not, neither by dreams, nor in Aram, nor by prophets. Verse 7. Then said Saul unto his servants, seek me a woman that hath familiar spirit.
See, now we're going to read about it. Now we're going to read Saul's about to go to war with the Africans, and he's he's praying to the Lord because Saul is now afraid that these Africans are going to beat him, but he has lost his faith. He has lost his faith in the Most High, and like he has no courage at all. So seeing these heathens, he's trembling. So now he's searching for the Lord for protection. He's searching for the Lord to help him out he's trying to ask for protection from these Philistines, but he's not getting an answer. He's not. When it says dreams, the Most High also, just like the scriptures say, young men and all types of men and young women will have visions also. That's how the Most High speaks to us through visions also. But he's not getting a vision from the Most High about this war. He's not getting answers from the Most High, and he's going to priest to try to get help and seek comfort, but he's not getting that either. The Lord is not answering. So now Saul is doing something evil. He's saying, seek me a woman. Since the Lord is not answering, now Saul is going outside to an outside source, a wicked source, which is some fortune teller or some woman that will tell you about your future. And that's what it means by seek me a woman of unfamiliar spirit, because she will conjure up and channel demons, which you would think is your people from the past or your parents or some loved one, when really it's Satan. It's not Satan. Really, it's a demon. Go ahead.
That I might go to her and inquire of her. And his servant said to him, behold, there is a woman that hath a familiar spirit and endure.
Right. That's it, right? You can continue to read in it.
1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 8. Wayata Kapash, Shama Wall, Wayala Basha, Bagayam, Bagadayam, Akrayam, Wayalak, Hawa'a, Washanaya, Anasham, Amawa, Wayaba'awa, Al, Ha'ashaya, Laya Laha, Waya Ha'amar, Bakwashi, Maya, Na'a, Laya, Ba'ashaba, Waha'ilaya, Laya, Af, Ashar, Amar, Alayaka, verse 9. Wata Amar, Hashayat, Hasha'aha, Allah, Alawa, Anaha, Atha, Yada Aitha, Ashar, Ashaha, Sha'awal, Ashar, Hakarah, Atha, Habawath, Ha'ah, Hayada Ainaya, Hana, Ha'arataza, Wala Amah, Atha, Matanakwash, Banapashia, Lahamatanaya, verse 10. Waya Shabai, Laha, Shahawal, Bahana Wa'ah, Lahamar, Kaya, Yahweh, Amah, Yakarak, Awana, Bada Abara, Haza'ah, verse 11. Wata Amar, Hayasha'ah, Atha, Maya, Ilahaya, Laka, Wayahamar, Atha, Shawa'ala, Ha'aliya, Laya, verse 12. Wata Ara'ah, Hayashaha, Atha, Shamawa'ala, Wataz Zaika, Bakwa'ala, Bagawal, Wata Amar, Ha'ashia, Al, Sha'awal, La Amar, Lamawaha, Ramayata Ainia, Wata'ah, Sha'awal, verse 13. Waya Amar, La'ah, Hamalak, Al, Daraya Ayah, Kaya, Maha, Ra'ataya, Wata Amar, Ha'ashia, Al, Shamawal, Al Layam, Ra'ataya, Alayam, Manah, Arataza, verse 14. Wahamar, La'ah, Maha, Rawa, Da'ara, Wata Amar, Ayash, Zakana, Alaha, Waha Wa'a, Athaya, Ma'ayalaya, Waya Da'ai, Sha'awal, Kaya, Sha'awala, Shahawala, Shamahala, Hawa'ah, Wayakada, Apayam, Al-Rataza'a, Wa-Shata Kawa. 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 8. And Saul disgusted himself and put on other. And Saul disguised himself and put on other remnants, and he went and 2 men with him.
So why did Saul disguise himself? Go ahead. because he put away all those people, and he didn't want them to know it was him going to. It's like him putting away the drug deals and him going to get some drugs.
Exactly. And tarot card readers and palm readers, and he knew that for him, it's our customs. We don't believe in no palm readers and tarot card readers and everything. So he disguised himself to go to some fortune teller, and that's what happens. When you fall weak, like that. The way things are going to go is through the Most High, and that's it. And now he tried to pray to the Most High. He did not get an answer from the Most High. He did not get an answer from the priest. He did not get a vision from the Most High. So now you go carnal. Now the Most High is not answering. So you think you're going to get an answer from a fortune teller, which is just weak. But that's what happens when when the Most High is against you, basically, you don't get an answer. Or sometimes he might not be against you. You're just not getting an answer yet. You have to be patient. But when you lose patience for the Most High, and then it causes you to turn weak, and you'll turn to, man, and that's where you make your error, and that's where we make our error all the time. Go ahead.
And they came to the woman by night, and he said, I pray thee, divine unto me by the familiar spirit, and bring me him up, whom I shall name unto thee. And the woman said unto him, Behold, thou knowest what Saul hath done, how he hath cut off those that have familiar spirits, and the wizards out of the land.
Right. So first the fortune teller is like, look, like, Saul, like Saul put us out of the land. She not realizing that this is Saul disguised. Like Saul, we gotta be careful because Saul already put the wizards and the fortune tellers out of the land. Go ahead, read on.
Wherefore then layest thou a snare for my life to cause me to die?
He said, you put us out of the land, but now you coming to me to ask for a fortune. Are you trying to trap me? Like, are you trying to trap me? So, are you trying to kill me? Is this a setup? Go ahead.
Verse 10. And Saul swore to her by the Lord, saying, As the Lord liveth, there shall no punishment happen to thee for this thing.
Right. And that's evil and disgusting. He's like, look, I swear unto you, yes, I put you out of the land, but on God, I'm not gonna do anything to you. Which is evil. Go ahead.
Then the woman said, Whom shall I bring up unto thee?
Right, now she asks, okay, who do you want me to channel? What spirit, what loved one, whose spirit do you want me to bring back from the dead? Go ahead.
And he said, Bring me up Samuel. And when the woman saw Samuel,
right, Samuel was the priest that when David was young. Samuel was around when David was young and anointed David to be the next anointed him that he was going to be the next king of Israel or the Israelites of that time, and Saul was still king. And we read before how Saul knew that the Most High wanted David to be king, but he was being carnal, just didn't want to give him his seat yet. So now that's the same priest that anointed David at a young age, and now that priest Samuel is now dead. So now Saul is trying to go to the fortune teller to bring his spirit back. He's trying to get advice from Saul about what to do with this war that's coming, because he's afraid of the war that's coming. So that's why he's trying to get a dead priest to come and trying to get advice from him to ask, what am I going to do? Like, we're about to go to war and I'm afraid. I don't know if we're going to win this war. I don't know, what to do. He's trying to find some comfort. Go ahead.
She cried a loud voice, and the woman spake to Saul, saying, Why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul?
Right. See, now she found out. So she said, Why you deceive me? Like, for you are Saul. Like, Saul trying to disguise himself. But, as she's trying to do this, like, reading, she's looking at this man, and she said, You're Saul. You're the one that put us out of the land. Go ahead. Like, you're trying to, why, this is, like, she's trying to figure out, is this a setup? Like, you're lying to me. Go ahead.
And the king said unto her, Be not afraid, for what sawest thou? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth. And he said unto her,
right. So she said, look, don't. I know I'm Saul. I know put you in the line. Don't worry about it. Like, what did you see just now when you were trying to channel these spirits? And what did she say? Read it again.
And the woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth.
Right. She's seen gods coming out of the earth. Go ahead.
And he said unto her, what form is he of? And she said, an old man cometh up, and he is covered with a mantle. And Saul perceived that it was Samuel.
Right. So she's doing her vision, doing her whatever, her humming and singing and incense and all evil, all BS, all hocus pocus. She's doing all that. And she's saying, yeah, I see some gods coming out of the earth. I see some people coming out of the earth. I see a man covered in a mantle. And now Saul is like, oh, that must be Saul. That must be Samuel. That must be Samuel. Go ahead.
And he stooped with his face to the ground.
Right. So now this lady just, doing her foolishness. Yes, I see somebody. I see an old man in a mantle. He, you know how Christians do, like, how the pastors pray, like, oh, I see, this in your future. You get in the Holy Ghost, the so-called Holy Ghost, and you jumping up and down. That's what's going on. He thinks that this woman is really, can really see something. So he's like, yeah, that must be Saul. Go ahead.
And bowed himself.
So as soon as he thought it was Samuel. So now he bowed himself. So now she says she see a man, and now he bows himself. Go ahead.
That's it, sir.
Okay, we're gonna read on. Well, we can go to the Hebrew, then we'll come back. It's like, go ahead.
It's like, sir.
Mantle. It was. He covered. It probably was just a garment or a covering. So like we'll look up. You can just look up mantle. Mantle is just, it should be just like a cloak, but I'll look it up for you right now. You're right. It's a hooded. It's one. A mantle is one of them coverings with a hood and a cape. So like with them big hoods where you can't even see the person's face because they're covered like that with a cloak. That's what a mantle is, like a cloak. Go ahead. Let me read the Hebrew.
1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 15 in the Hebrew. YAHANNA, Shama Wa'ala, Al, Sha'awal, Lamaha, Haraka Tazayaniya, La'ailawath, Ataya, Wayahmar, Shahawal, Tatazara, Laya, Ma'ada, Wapalashathian, Walakamayam, Baya, Wa'alayam, Sarah, Ma'ailia, Wala'a, Aini, Salaki, Ana Naya, Iwada, Gam, Bayada, Anabaya, Gam, Balakalawath, Salaki, Balakamawa, Walakwara, Aha, Laka, Lahabada, Ainia, Maha, Asha, verse 16. Waya Amar, Shama Wa'ala, Wala Amah, sorry, Wala Maha, Dashala Naya, Waya Wa'a, Sarah, Mala Ayak, Waya Haya, Iraq, verse 17. Waya Aisha, Yahweh, Lawa, Kayashar, the bar, Waya Daya, Waya Karai, Waya Hawa, Atha, Hamalaka, Maya Daka, Waya Tanha, Lara Aka, Ladawada, verse 18. Ashar, La'a, Shamaikia, Bakawala, Yahweh, Wala'a, Aishiyah, Karawan, Apawa, Bamalak, Ila, Kana, Adabar, Aza'ah, Ashaha, Laka, Yahweh, Haya, Ma, Hayaha, verse 19. Wayathan, Yahweh, Gam, Af, Yasha'ala, I.M.K, Ayada, Palashathium, Bamaka'ar, Atha, Wabakanayak, Imaya, Gam, Af, Makanaha, Yasha'ala, Yathana, Yahweh, Bayada, Palashathium, verse 20. Waya Sha'awal, Wayapala, Mala'ah, Makwata Awa, Al-Rataza, Waya, Ra'ah, Ba'adah, Bada Abaya, Bashawa'al, Gam, Kaka'ah, La'ah, Kaka, La'ah, Hayam, Bawa, Kaya, La'ah, a cow, Lakam, Kala, Hali, Yaw, Wong, Wakal, Hali, Ya, La, verse 21. Wayataba Wa'ah, Hayasha'ala, Al, Shemawal, Watara'ah, Kaya, Naba Allah, Mahada, Watahamar, Alayawa, Hana'ah, Shemawa'aita, Hapasha Katak, Bakawalak, Wa'ashayanya, Napashia, Bakayaya, Washa'amai, the Baryak, Ashar, Dabarata, Aliyah. We got 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 22.
Verse 15 through 21.
15, verse 15 in English. And Samuel said to Saul, why hast thou disquieted me to bring me up? And Saul answered, and I am so distressed.
Right. So now the lady conjured up an unfamiliar spirit, a demon, which Saul thought was Samuel. And now the demon is playing like he's Samuel and saying, Saul, why have you woke me up? You know, ask him, what does he want? Go ahead. And then now Saul is saying, Samuel, I'm distressed. I'm stressed out. I'm about to go to war with the Africans. I'm scared as hell. I don't know if I'm going to win. You know, I need your help. I need your advice. Go ahead.
For the Philistines make war against me.
See, so when the Philistines make war against me, go ahead.
And God is departed from me.
Right. And see what it say?
And God is departed from me.
And God is departed from me. Samuel knew the Lord was not with him. And that showed Samuel knew the Lord was not with him so much. Whereas though he break Israelite customs, he break our tradition, he breaks the Lord's laws, and try to go get advice from a damn fortune teller.
Right.
When they do nothing but channel demons. That's it. So now it's so foolish, but that's what happens in times of panic and when you're scared. And those times, you don't even stand with the Lord. You try to go find help from other places, which never works. So he went to this fortune teller, and now she channeled who he thought was Samuel, and asking, it's he's like, the Lord's not with me. I'm about to go to war. I don't know what to do. Go ahead.
And answer me no more.
Right, the Lord has departed from me. He answered me no more. David is king. That's why. And Saul just didn't want to give up his seat. Go ahead.
neither by prophets.
Right. Neither by even the Lord didn't even show the prophets any visions or any signs or any miracles, any wonders or anything. Go ahead.
Nor by dreams.
Nor by dreams. I'm not getting a vision from the Lord about his war. Anything. I'm getting no comfort at all. Go ahead.
Therefore I have called thee.
All right. Therefore I can't. Therefore I come to a fortune teller to bring your spirit and channel your spirit. Then go ahead.
That thou mayest make known unto me what I should do.
Right. What am I going to do? A big war is coming and I'm scared. I don't even know. Am I going to win? I don't know what I'm going to do. Go ahead.
Then says Samuel,
right.
Wherefore dost thou ask of me, right. Seeing the Lord is departed from thee.
Say it again. Read it again.
Wherefore then dost thou hast asked of me, saying the Lord is departed from thee.
Right. So now the demon who's playing as Samuel was like, who's playing as Samuel saying, why are you even, so if the Lord departed from you, why the hell are you even channeling me? Why are you waking me up from the dead? If you telling me, if you know the Lord is not with you, what do you think I'm gonna do? What the hell you want from me? Right. Go ahead. I'm already dead. But this is a demon that's talking to him. It's not even Samuel. Go ahead.
And it's become thy enemy, and the Lord hath done to him as he has spake by me. For the Lord hath rent the kingdom out of thine hand.
Right. The Lord has rent the kingdom out of your hands. Like, and Samuel, that demon is saying, that's unfamiliar spirit is saying, look, Samuel has already anointed David as king when he was young. Already did that. And and listen, the Lord is just doing, the Lord is just doing what I already did. Like I already anointed David as king. The kingdom belongs to him. Now David is a grown man, and you still trying to hold on to your seat. Like, Negro, give the seat up. The Lord already, now you even said out of your own mouth, the Lord has departed from me. He's not answering me. The only thing to do is just humble yourself and just give up your seat. It's a simple seat. That's it. But it's so hard it's so hard when you're king, or so hard for some people. They're so prideful. Which though the Lord didn't say he was going to die. The Lord didn't say that he was going to be poor or anything. You're just not king anymore. Right. That's it. Just imagine you're a president and now your term is over. Right. Like, damn, but you want to stay president forever. Like, give up the seat. It's time for somebody. The Lord has chosen somebody else to be president, somebody else to be king. Your term is up. That's it. Go and do whatever presidents and kings do when they retire. Like, it's so much less stress. Like, when you're king, you gotta, it's a lot of stuff you gotta keep organized. The wars, the people, make sure the land is going, make sure all the affairs is fair, make sure the people are pleased, make sure your land is staying in order, following the structures of the Most High and everything. That's a lot of work and a lot of stress. It's a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of things that you have to deal with as a king, running a whole land or country or, a state. And when you retire, you can go play golf or, whatever that retired kings do. And that's what Saul should have did. And it's not like when he retired, he could have still been beside King David's side. He still could have fought wars, or Saul still would have, King David was still get advice from him because David loved Saul. Right. It's not like once Saul wasn't king anymore, David was going to kill Saul or get rid of him. David, he still would have considered King Saul's advice and all that, but his pride would not let him see that, like, to just retire. Right. Go ahead.
And giving it to thy neighbor, even to David, because thou obeyest not the voice of the Lord.
Right, and you lost the seat because you do not obey the voice of the Lord. And here you are again, years later, in the older age, still holding on to your throne, and now you breaking the law again by going to some fortune teller. Go ahead.
Nor executest his fierce wrath upon Amalek.
Right, and you lost. The only reason why you lost your seat is because you did not follow the Lord's order when he told you to kill all the Amalek. Today is a Jewish tribe. The so-called white man that calls himself a Jew, he's Jewish, he's not a Jew. Black are the true Jews. But at that time, Amalek, just like how the Jewish people are at war with black people today, They were at war with us thousands of years ago. So, and at that time, when Saul went at war with them, the Lord gave Saul an order to kill all the Amalekites, but he did not do it. He saved one, and one of those Amalekites now had worked for Saul. He ain't followed the Lord's order. Go ahead.
So, wasn't he ordered to kill the animals as well?
He was given. We can pull up the order. We can pull up the precept. I'll pull it up for you later on. And when the Lord gave David that order, and the Lord gave Saul that order, and Saul did not follow it. So now what did the Lord have to do? Find somebody who was more disciplined, find somebody who was better. And David was that man who was better than Saul. But Saul was not ready to accept that. Go ahead.
Therefore hath the Lord done this thing unto thee this day.
Right, and that's why the Lord did that thing to you. Now you still hold on to the seat. You still hold on to the throne. You're about to go to war. You're praying to God for an answer. He's not giving you an answer. And now you know that you're about to lose your life. You're about to go to war. You could possibly die. You could possibly lose your throne. Your city could be taken over. When you did not have to go through the stress, David could have been king. Y'all could have, and the Lord would have been with y'all, and your kingdom would have, the kingdom would have still stood strong. Go ahead.
Verse 19. Moreover, the Lord will also deliver Israel with thee into the hand of the Philistines.
Now look, you're so arrogant, Wisdom. You're so arrogant, Wisdom. Now, when those Africans come to go to war, the demon is telling him, the Africans are going to win. They're not going to just capture you. They're going to capture Israel.
Right.
One person's mistake causes the death of your whole nation. And that's what we understand. That's what we have to understand what's going on right now. What's going on, what's going on even today in 2020. Like one person, one leader, one celebrity, one black man, or a handful of black people can control the narrative of the whole nation. Right. Like celebrities or politicians or anything like that, they have a big influence. So mostly if, say P. Diddy or celebrities or whatever, when they put those stickers on, I voted. Black people as sheep, they see those celebrities that hold them I voted stickers, and now they go and vote. You got Diddy in the past. P. Diddy said, "What? Vote or die." There's plenty of things that celebrities do, and it influence the masses. So now we do it. But if the influencers would do the right thing, then we will do it. Just like when Nick Cannon, before Nick Cannon apologized and doing all the bending over he's doing right now for the so-called Jewish man. It shook the world because he's Nick Cannon, because of his influence. And he's saying, white people are animals. He was telling the truth. He says, Nick Cannon says the Jews are black. Now all of Israel, all the average Joes are like, oh, Nick Cannon. I've been hearing about the Israelites. Some of the average Joes believe in the Israelites, already know the Israelites. And some of them, or some people, fight against it. But you'll be surprised when you'll be at camp speaking. Somebody will be against you at camp and will hate your speaking and hate the UPK. Let Oprah, P. Diddy, Jay-Z, let all the celebrities say the Jews are black. They're gonna come the next week and say, "Hey, the Jews are black," and they're gonna listen to you because that's how much of a lamb that we are of a people. And so with David, so the thing that's going on with David, he didn't use his thing. He made a selfish mistake, and now Israel's going to pay because of his mistake. Go ahead.
And tomorrow shalt thou and thy sons be with me, and the Lord also shall deliver the host of Israel into the hand of the Philistines. Then Saul fell straightway all along the earth, and it was so afraid.
Right now Saul hears that fortune that's been. Here's Samuel, who a person. Samuel hears a spirit who is speaking, who he thinks is who he thinks is Samuel, and now he's so afraid. He is what Samuel said, or who he thought was Samuel said, and he falls straight on the floor. I mean, he already had his head down, nailed to the ground. Now he flattened his whole body out. He just landed on the floor, so afraid, crying. After the unfamiliar spirit told him, "Look, don't feel this. Them Africans is gonna beat you in that war, and they're gonna conquer you and your people. You're gonna be their slaves now." All right, where we at now?
Because of the words of Samuel, and there was no strength in him, for he had eaten no bread all the day, nor all the night.
Right, that's what happened. Like when you so that's why he passed out. He passed out because he did not eat all day and all night. Like when you because he's stressed about the war, so now he's thinking about the war. When you're stressed, like you don't eat, you don't drink, you know, your body is getting weak. When something is bothering you, you just forget about the simple things or the necessities, which is drinking water and eating something. Go ahead. So he heard that news and he faints it. Go ahead.
Verse 21. And the woman came unto Saul and saw that he was sore troubled.
Right.
And said unto him, Behold, thy handmaid have obeyed thy voice, and I have put my life in my hand, and have hearkened unto thy words which thou speakest unto me.
Right. So now this fortune teller is saying, look, I did what you said, which was dangerous. You told us you put all the what I'm doing is wrong. You told us that fortune telling and being a witch and being a wizard is against God. I put my life in danger by telling you your future. I put my life on the line. I told you, now I did that, and now you have heard your future. Go ahead. That was it. Okay. Osalaki. What we got left? One.
We got four more.
He go to 25. He go to 25. 22 to 25.
It's four more sections.
All right, good. I'm ready. Call up Awani. Present yourself.
I will walk your big gap on your SHALAM.
I will walk your bangad on your SHALAM.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabbat Rakatha.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabbat Rakatha.
1 second. We have it.
Yes,
Sure.
We at verse 22.
22. Should be top.
Kadabakan. We at 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 22. Salaki. Wayatha, Shemai, Na'a, Gum, Atha, Bakawala, Shapakatha, Shapakatha, Hak, Washamya, Lapanyaka, Patha, Lakam, Wa'a, Kawa, Waya Haya, Baka, Kaka, Kaya, Thalak, Batarak, Salaki. I gotta read this. Salaki. Verse 23. So I'm gonna read it off here too. Wayamnyan, Wayamar, La, Akala, Akar, Wa'a, Patazawa, Bawa, Abda Yawa, Wapayam, Salagi. Wagum. Washam ar. Laka lum. Wayakam. Maha Arataza. Wayasha ar. Hum to Ha'a. Batum. Salaki. Hasha. Salaki again. Oh no, I can do it. I was at the end of verse 23. Wayam ana. Wayamar la'a akar. Waya Kawata zawa. Bawa abad yawa. Wagam ha'asha'a. Wa ashamai. Wakao ama. Waya kama. Waha ma ha'arataza. Wayashab ya. Alamath ha. Verse 24. Wala asha ha. Agala marabak. Baba yeth. Wath amar. Wath amar. Watha Zabakwa. Watha Kamak. Wathalasha. Watha Pa'awa. Matsazawa. Verse 25. Wathagash. Lapanya. Shawa'o. Walapanya. Abadyawa. Wa'aya. Kalawa. Wayak. Kamawa. Waya lakawa. Bala ya laha. Haha wa'a. That was in the verse 24, right?
Okay. Yeah, 1 through 4.
Go to chapter 29.
29, 1 through 3.
Okay. We're going to 1 Samuel chapter 29, verse 1. Wayak, Batazawa, Palashathium, Ath, Kala, Makad, Naya Hum, Apak Aha, Wa'ad Yashar, Salaga, Wayasha'ala, Ka Nayam, Banaya, Asha, Baya, Zara'ai, verse 2. Rasaranya, Palashathium, Abadyam, Lama'ah, Wath, Wala'ah, Lapayim, Wada, Wa'ad, Nashawa, Abarium, Ba'akar, Naha, Amma, Akayash, verse 3. Verse 3. Waya Amaka, Waya Marwa, Sharaya, Palashathium, Maha, Ha'ai, Baryam, Hala'a, Waya, Amar, Akayash, Shawapaya, Palashathium, Halaway, Zaha, Dabada, Abada, Shawa'al, Malak, Yasha'al, Ashar, Hayaha, Athia, Zaha, Yam, Awa, Zaha, Shanyanyum, Wala'a, Mataza, Athia, Bawa, Ma'awa, Maya, Nepal, Lawa, I, Hawayam, Hazaha. This is in verse 3.
You gotta read the English. Read the English. I don't know what's started.
22 through 25, and then 1 through 3.
Yeah, start at verse 22.
Come. 1 Samuel, chapter 28, verse 22. Now therefore, I pray thee, hearken thou also unto the voice of thy handmaid, and also unto the voice, Salakia, and let me set a morsel of bread before thee, and eat, that thou mayest have strength when thou goest on the way.
Right. So now Saul got his fortune. He got his fortune told to him from unfamiliar spirit. The unfamiliar spirit told Saul that you're going to be conquered in war and your people. And he fell out. He just fell out, and he was weak because he was already stressing, and he did not eat and drink. So the fortune teller gave him some bread and some food so he can gain some kind of strength so he can get up and leave. Go ahead.
Come. But he refused and said, I will not eat. But
Go ahead.
But his servants, together with the woman, compelled him, and he hearkened unto their voice.
Right. So he's like, no, I'm not going to eat. He's trying to, I'm not going to eat. But his servants came, and they could finally convince him to eat. Yeah.
So he rose from the earth and sat upon the bed. And the woman had a fat calf in the house, and she hasted and killed it, and took flour and kneaded it, and did bake unleavened bread thereof.
Right. So she cooked for Saul, slaughtered her cow, cooked for Saul, and made meal. Go ahead.
And she brought it before Saul and before his servants, and they did eat. Then they rose up and went away that night.
Right. Go ahead.
1 Samuel, chapter 29, verse 1. Now the Philistines gathered together all their armies to I.S.U.P.K, and the Israelites pitched by a fountain which is in Jezreel.
Right. So now Philistines are gathering up. They're getting ready. They're getting geared up for war against Israel. Go ahead.
I will come. And the lords of the Philistines passed on by hundreds and by thousands.
Right.
But David and his men passed on in the rearward with Achish.
Right. That's it. Right.
Verse 3. Then said the princes of the Philistines, what do these Hebrews here? And Achish said unto the princes of the Philistines, is not this David, the servant of Saul, the king of Israel, which have been with me these days, all these years, and I have found to fault in him since he fell unto me unto this day.
That's it.
All right. We got 3 more scriptures left, right?
Come.
Starting at verse 4, right?
Come. 4 through
Chapter 29.
Come.
1 Samuel chapter 29, verse 4. Wayak Tezapawa Al-Yawa Sharaya Palamathium Wayamar Wa Lawa Sharaya Palamathium Hashaba Ahayash Waya Shaba Al Makawamwa Ashar Hapa Adath Wa Shema Wala'a Yarada Amanawa Bamala Kamaha, Wala'a, Yahaya, Lanawa, Lasatha, Na, Bamalak, Ma, Wabawaha, Yatha, Ratazaha, Zaha, Al, Adayanwa, Ha, Lawa'a, Ba'arash, Shia, Hahanas, Yum, Haham, verse 5, Halawa'a, Zaha, Dawada, Ashar, Yanawa, Lawa, Bamak, Lawath, La'amar, Hakaha, Shawa'al, Ba'a, Lapa Ya, Yawa, Wadawada, Baraba, Thawa, verse 6, Wayakra'a, Akash, Al Davada, Wayamar, Alayawa, Kaya, Yahweh, Kaya, Yashar, Atha, Watawa, Bayanya, Taza, Atha, Wabaka, Athaya, Bamak, Naha, Kaya, La'a, Mataza Athia, Baka, Rai, Ha, Mayawam, Bayak, Al-Ya, I, Hayam, Hazaha, Wabayan, Ya, Hasaranyam, La'a, Tawab, Atha, verse 7, Wa'athanha, Shawaba, Wala, Bashalam, Wala'a, the Aishaha, Rai, Bayanya, Saranya, Palasia Thumb, Palasia Thumb, verse 8, Wa'amar, Dabada, Al, Akayash, Kaya, Maha, Ashayathia, Wama'a, Mataza'a, Ba'abada, Ma'ayawam, Ashar, Hayathia, Lapanyaka, I, Hayawam, Hazaha, Kaya, La'a, Abawa'a, Wanalak, Mathaya, Ba'ayaba, Adanya, Hamalak. That's in that.
Go to 10.
Go to 10. Verse 9. What? Verse 9. Wayanya, Akayash, Waya Amar, Al, Dabada, Ya, Da'ith, Ya, Kaya, Tawab, Atha, Banaya, Kamar, Aka, Alahayim, Aka, Sha'arak, Sharaya, Palasiathim, Amarva, La'a, Ya'al Laha, Amanawa, verse Malakama, verse 10, Wa'ith, Hashakma, Babakar, Wa'abadya, Adannayak, Ashar, Ba'awa, Atha, Wahash, Akatham, Babakar, Wa'awar, Lakam, Walak, Kawa.
1 Samuel chapter 29, verse 4. And the princes of the Philistines were wroth with him. And the princes of the Philistines said unto him, make this fellow return, that he may go again to his place which thou hast appointed him, and let him not go down with us to battle, lest in the battle he be an adversary to us. For wherewith should he reconcile himself unto his master? Should it not be with the heads of these men? Is not this David, of whom they sang one to another in dances, saying, Saul slew his thousands and David his 10,000s. Then Achish called David and said unto him, surely as the Lord liveth, thou hast been upright, and thy going out and day coming in with me in the host is good in my sight. For I have not found evil in thee since the day of thy coming unto me unto this day. Nevertheless, the Lord's favor thee not. Wherefore now return and go in peace, that thou displease not the lords of the Philistines. And David said unto Achish, but what have I done? And what hast thou found in thy service so long as I have been with thee unto this day?
Shabbat, Aratazah, Palashathium, what Palashathium, Alawa, Yazarai, chapter 30, verse 1. Wayahaya, Baba'a, Dawada, Wa'anash, Yawa, Tazaka, Bayawam, Hashala, Yashya, Wa'ai, Malakaya, Pashathawa, Nagaba, Wa'al, Tazaka, Ga, Wayak, Wa, Tazakalar, Wayasha, Pawa, Atha, Ba'ayash, verse 2. Wayash, Bawa, Hanashayam, Asha, Baha, Makathan, Wa'ai, Gada, Wala, La'a, Hamayath, Wa, Ayash, Wayan, Hagawa, Wayakawa, Ladarkam, verse 3. Wayaba'a, Dabada, Wa'anash, Yawa, Haya, Wahan, Aha, Shara, Apa, Ba'ash, Wanash, Yaham, Wabanya, Yaham, Wabanath, Yaham, Nashabawa, verse 4. Wayas, Aha, Dabada, Wa'an, Asha, Athawa, Kawalam, Wayabakwa, the Shah, Ayana Ya, Salat, Ayana, Bahama, Kaka, Labak, Watha, verse 5. Wasathia, Nashaya, Dabada, Nashabawa, Aka, Yan Ima, Hayazah, Hayazar Aliyah wa Abaya Gaya Ashata Nabal Hakaram Laya. Verse 6. Watha Tazar Lada Wada Ma'ada Kaya Amar Wa La'an Aha'an Las Kalawa Kaya Mara Napash Kal Hayam Ha'an Ayash Al Banawa Wa'al Banath Yawa Wayath Kazak Dabada Bayahawa Alahat Yawa. That's the end of that. Goes on to verse 7 through 13.
Nah, you got it.
Verse 7.
No, that was verse 6. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the end of that. Sluggy, that was the end of that, sir. Read verse
29, 11, and then 31 through 6.
Okay. 1 Samuel chapter 29, verse 11. So David and his men rose up early to depart in the morning to return in the land of the Philistines. And the Philistines went up to Jezreel. 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 1. And it came to pass, when David and his men were come to Zildag on the third day, that the Amalekites had invaded the south and Ziklag, and smitten Ziklag, and burned it with fire, and had taken the women captives that were therein. They slew not any, either great or small, but carried them away and went on their way. So David and his men came to the city, and behold, it was burned with fire, and their wives and their sons and their daughters were taken captives.
Right. So now David had departed from the land of Philistines. David is on the run. This all could have been prevented. Had Saul just given up his seat and let David be king. But because now David's on the run, things are out of order. There's wars going on. Heathens are conquering Israelites. And now David has returned to a land, and now their children and their women have been kidnapped and conquered and captured. Go ahead.
Then David and the people that were with him lifted up their voice and wept until they had no more power to weep.
So now it's a sad thing. So imagine you're on a run, and then you come home back to your land, and you all weep, you all cry, and you see your town burnt, your city burnt, and all the people are gone, your children and women are gone and conquered by heathens, and they cried, man. It's a soul feeling. Go ahead.
And none of this would have happened if King Saul would have did exactly what the Most High told him to do.
Right, that's
all
what,
the Amalekites.
Exactly. Right. See. Right, and that's what Kwasha, he brought out a good point, because the reason, and that's what I'm looking at right now. I'm gonna pull a scripture where the Lord gave an order. The Lord gave the order to kill all the Amalekites. So the Lord gave Saul to kill order to kill all the Amalekites. He did not. So now they're still around, thriving, and now they come back later on, years later, and burn the town, burn the land with Israelites inhabiting, and takes David's family and his men's family. Go ahead.
Okay.
You totally right, bro.
And David's two wives were taken captives.
Right. And both David, David's two wives was captured. Go ahead.
And David's two wives were taken captives: Ahinoam, the Jezreelite, and Abigail, the wife of Nabal, the Carmelite. And David was greatly distressed, for the people spake of stoning him, because the soul of all the people were grieved, every man for his sons and for his daughters.
Right, and the people are confused because some people decided to stay with Saul because he was a king, but some people knew that some people sided with David. Like they knew that David was going to be king. They knew he was supposed to be king, so they went with David when David left the land. But now that they're on a run and now they come back, and the heathens have conquered have took their families. Now they're mad at David because they feel as though if they never split from the kingdom, then their people, that would have not happened. So now they feel like they've been doing something evil. Go ahead.
But David encouraged himself in the Lord his God.
Right.
And David said,
he said, starting at verse 7, right?
7 through 10.
Verse 7. وَيَأْمَرْ دَبْدَا عَلْ أَبَيَثَارْ هَكَهَنْ بَنْ أَكَا يَمَلَكْ هَغَيَاشْ نَعَى لَهَا هَا فَدَى وَيَغَاشْ أَبَيَثَارْ هَا فَدَى Al Dabada, verse 8. Washa'a Dabada Baya Hawa La'amar Arada Akara Ya Aga Dabada Hazaha Aha Salagi Ha Ashagandi Nawa Waya Amar Lawa Radapa Kaya Hashaga Tashayar Waha Tazallah the Taza Yaha verse 9 Wayalak Dabada Hawa Wayash Ma'awath Hayash Ashar Athawa Waya Ba'a Wa'ai Nakar Habashawa Hana Wayathyam Ahmad Madawa verse 10 Waya Radapa Dabada Hawa Wa'ai Rabai Ma'a Wath Ayash Waya Amadwa Ma'ath Ayam Ayash Ashar Pagarwa Ma'ai Ba Atha Ath Nakar Habashnawa verse 11 Wayam Math Za'awa Ayash Matazaraya Bashada Wayak Kawa Athawa Ar Dabada Wayathanyawa Lawa Lakam Wayakar Wayash Ahawa Mayam verse 12 Wayathnawa Lawa Palak Dabal Ha Washanaya Tazamakim Waya Akar Wayath Shabah Bawa Ayawa Kaya La'a Akar Lakam Wala Sha'ath Aha Mayam Shalashaha Yam Wasal Lashaha Waf verse 13 Waya Amar Lawa Dabada Lamaya Atha Wa'aya Mazaha Atha Waya Amar Narad, Matazariah, Wanakaya, Abada, La'ayash, Amalakaya, Wayai, Zabanya, Adayan, Kaya, Kala Yafia, Hayawam, Shalom.
7 to 13.
1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 7. And David said to